anything else in life, momentum is a huge thing. You can see this truck up ahead of me. He's going slower than me. And cars coming up behind me, so I can't just duck into this left lane and pass this guy. But if that was a longer up, so now we're going downhill, I'm cruising again. And he'll be cruising too. Excuse me. So going downhill now we're fine, and he's going to be fine. But if that continued uphill and I had to slow down more and more and more to get behind him, and I couldn't get into the left lane to pass him, that would have been really hard on me, because it would have shifted down again and lost momentum, gone slower, lost more momentum because we're going slower. You just, like anything else, momentum is huge in keeping everything going. And if you can drive and kind of anticipate, now we're going downhill, let's see, 70, just cruising along. If we can make up some momentum, because we see an uphill grade, I'll go up to like 80, 85 and just use that to cruise up as much of the uphill side as I can. So I'm going to pass this guy and see what we've got ahead of us here. You can see the uphill. So here I'm just going to cruise up to like 80. And then we'll use this momentum to get up the other side. Hopefully that'll just carry us through this little canyon and rise again. So you can see we start to drop. The issue with this van, I'm finding out, is there's a limp mode that the van goes in when the turbo senses overspin. So it's a protective mode the engine goes into, so and I'm an amateur mechanic, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I've just learned some of this through people telling me and learning what I can on YouTube. It's a protective part of the computer that the computer won't let the turbo overspin, and it puts it in this thing called limp mode, and it won't let it go above 3,000 RPM. So you can see here we're cruising along at 2,600 RPMs, 70 miles an hour, and this is perfect. This is great on flat level ground, but that little momentum getting us over that rise was fine. So now we're on level, we're about to go downhill a little bit again. There's a cool windstorm or something over there. Here it shows El Paso's the next big town, El Paso, Texas. We're actually we may actually be in New Mexico. I don't know if we are or not. We're either in eastern Arizona or New Mexico. I'm going to go up, I'm going to turn left a little bit north and go to Las Cruces. I have a friend I'm visiting. But that's obviously New Mexico. But the main path of this highway I-10, Interstate 10, the next big place we pass through is El Paso. And then lots of Texas. That El Paso is way western Texas. And we go almost all the way through Texas. I think I may need to make a decision in the middle of Texas about what to do, because I may not go all the way south on I-10 through Texas. May branch off and head up through Dallas, and then start to head up through either Kansas or Missouri. Maybe not Kansas, maybe it's Oklahoma and Missouri to get kind of back up to Tennessee. And I'll tell you the story about Tennessee and this van in another video. But hopefully, and it's actually, I think, a pretty interesting story. So, but hopefully this up and down will end pretty soon, and we'll be on the flatter part of I-10. We've already kind of gotten through most of the hilly areas. You can see backwards we're on an uphill rise, but it's not steep enough to slow us down. We're cruising along at that 2,600 RPMs and 70 miles an hour in drive, or drive is 5th gear. So no need to downshift. And then if you look way out on the horizon, you can see mountains, but it's very much more gradual and less sharp, peaky mountains like those kind over there, which we just went through a lot of on the farther western part of, like I said, either Arizona or New Mexico. I think it's Arizona because of the mile marker. If we would have crossed into New Mexico, it would have been a lower number. But we'll see. As soon as we get to New Mexico or I get a better bearing on that, I'll turn the camera back on and let you know.